Oh,
Anyway, welcome to the
I
party,
thought that was
pal.
loading.
No, it's recording.
Oh dear.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome.
This is a podcast with us, the Loomer brothers. I'm Preston Loomer.
I'm Nathan Loomer, and we're finally back together.
Yay! Oh no, quarantine. We have to keep a distance.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who are just joining us for the first time ever, this is a podcast where we talk about movies that we like,
Maybe
or don't in some cases. Basically, we give each other a topic, and then we choose movies based on that topic, send them to each other, watch them, and then come together to talk about them.
Yeah.
So this week, I picked movies featuring young kids. Young kids. We're talking preteens and below. Younger the better.
Yeah.
That sounded wrong.
I don't know.
So for this, we did we usually do two. We did an extra one today. I picked Kindergarten Cop and Little Rascals.
And I picked Return to Oz and Oliver.
And then we both picked E.T. because E.T.
And then we ended up watching Bobby Fischer.
And then we ended up watching Searching for Bobby Fischer, but I didn't make any notes.
No, yeah. It's chess.
Although if you like chess and children, that's a good movie too. I'm going to say, let's start.
You want to start with
We're going to start. No, I want to start with that. I want to save that one for later. I'm going to start with Kindergarten Cop.
Okay.
Kindergarten Cop is a movie from 1990. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as a police detective who has to go undercover as a kindergarten teacher to find the wife and child of a, gang mob member.
I don't know what the villain's deal is.
A criminal of some sort.
Yeah.
To basically find a bunch of money they stole from him to get him locked up into prison.
Yes.
And to do so, he goes to Astoria, Oregon, as they say in the movie. Because
there this summer.
I was there on my honeymoon. I've been to that school that they shot the movie in.
Oh.
I picked this one. I love this movie. I'm gonna make this. I love, as much as I love action hero Arnold, I love comedy
Arnold's better.
Comedy Arnold is so good, and this one uses him so well as the action hero we know.
Yeah.
Like the first probably 15 minutes of just action hero Arnold to then turn around and put him in a room full of 6 to 7 year old kids and let him just like have to sort of improv off them. And I don't know how much of the dialogue the kids got was improv, but I would imagine it's quite a bit.
I want to know, I meant to Google it. I wanted to know if the script was written for Arnold or they just found him.
No. I know it wasn't written for Arnold.
It's so perfect for him.
It is perfect for him. And the fun thing is they almost went with Bill Murray.
God.
And I'm trying to think of Bill Murray in that role, and it doesn't have the same.
It's not the same
kick to it. No, I think Arnold is what makes that movie work, and I know that because they tried to do a sequel with Dolph Lundgren, and it did not work.
Yeah, I saw that.
I love so much about this movie. I think this movie might be in my top 5 most quoted movies.
Yeah.
I always, when I was working at the shop when we were doing strikes for sets and stuff, every time I'd break something that was really hard to break, I'd always say, "Oh, not so tough without your car, are you?" And then the kids would look at me like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, you need to go watch Kindergarten Cop."
Anytime I have any kind of bruise on me, I say it's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. This is also the movie that I learned the Gettysburg Address from.
Oh yeah,
from the kids doing it. I don't actually know any other part of it except the part that they do.
I love the kids in it, but they are the more forgettable out of the movies we watched.
I think the kids play second, but I do love how they focus on the main kid, Dominic. And they do it in a way that you spend about a third of the movie not quite realizing he's the kid who's going to be the one that you're going after. But they have those kids. They have the kid who always is talking about vaginas. They have that little girl who has to pee at the beginning. They have the, you're going to die kid. They have the oh gosh, there's so many of them. And then they have that great part where he does, who is my daddy and what does he do? Yeah. And they have those twins who are like, our mom says our dad is a real sex machine.
Oh my gosh. And I love the woman who plays, I see everything I see, the girl plays, is it the principal?
Linda Hunt.
Linda Hunt, the principal. So good.
Gosh, yeah, she's the tiny little woman. Looks more intimidating than Arnold does.
Yeah, I'm scared of her.
How did you feel to hit that son of a bitch? I love it so much. I love that, and I love Pamela Reed as his partner, who's the quote unquote hypoglycemic cop who then gets sick on eating something wrong.
Yeah.
Gosh, no! This movie has a kill stopped by a ferret. It has wholesome like family comedy and sort of like a gritty crime thriller.
Yeah.
Crisp's mom might be the most terrifying villain of the 90s next to Hannibal Lecter. That's what I saw. I remember watching it this time. I was like, he's not that scary. She is terrifying. The mom is horrifyingly scary. And the guy who plays Colin Crisp in this, like, I love him in this movie, and I don't know anything else he's been in.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is sleazy Val Kilmer.
That's all.
And I don't know what else he's been. I don't even know his name.
Nope.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
it feels like this is without this movie we wouldn't have the pacifier.
And pacifier wouldn't have the tooth fairy. But okay, we don't. We wouldn't have a lot of the action hero works with kids movies. I also the thing he does on the plane with the pencil where he looks at the kid and he's like, you know what I'm gonna do to you if you don't stop screwing around. I do that all the time with pencils at work. I was always just like looking at people and just like the best trick. No, I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I love this movie, top to bottom.
It's great. Astoria
is
a great place.
Oregon. If you watch the movie, you'll get why I'm saying it that way.
It feels like it's copyrighted.
God, I know. Oh, I know. It's just so good. Cool. So then we'll go from that to one of yours. Do you want to do the one that I liked, or the one that I didn't like?
Let's do the one you didn't like.
Let's do the one I didn't like. Nate picked Return to Oz. And,
okay.
Oh man, okay.
It's not good. I know.
It's from the 80s. It's a sequel to
quotes.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It's not a musical. Dorothy is 6 years younger than this movie than she was in the original.
Yeah.
She has it, and I was just like, the script in this is bad.
Yeah.
Most of the acting is not great. Aunt Em is like a bitch.
Yeah.
And I was like, why, Aunt Em, are you sending your kid to a mental institution that does electroshock therapy on children?
Yeah. The only thing it really stands out in this movie is the design, costume, and characters.
It does look good because they got. Did they get the Jim Henson Company to do?
I think they got the Henson Company.
Because that part of it looks good. I love the look of the clockwork guy. I love the Jack the Pumpkinhead.
Probably that's my favorite character.
I actually like the grump, the couch moose thing.
The only thing is they're creepy, but now that I've watched, I thought the Wheelers, the skaters, are like way cooler looking, but they just look like guys on skates.
They look cooler before they like lift their heads up and you can see their faces. I was like, they're cool when their heads are down,
doing their thing. And
also, here's some plot hole questions I have with this. One, why can the damn chicken talk?
Yeah.
If Toto couldn't talk. Also, why the chicken? I don't need the sassy chicken this whole movie. I got a point of it. I hate how every version of The Wizard of Oz ever now sounds like Judy Garland.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, just
talk.
Stop being Judy. I know it's iconic. Let it be what it is.
Yeah.
Do a new thing.
Let it just be Judy.
I do think, here's the thing. L. Frank Baum wrote like 100 books in this series, and we've made like 3 movies out of them. And one of those movies has done well because it didn't do what the book said. But I'm like, what's the next? Why don't we just make a whole bunch of Wizard of Oz stuff?
It's the one Sam Raimi movie. Sorry, not this movie. Return to Oz with James Franco.
Return to Oz.
It's the only like Sam Raimi movie I went, what are you thinking? What are you doing? It looks like Alice in Wonderland. I hate it.
There's so much I didn't like about that, but that's a different movie.
That's a different movie. Sorry.
No, and this is stuff like Dorothy knowing about places she definitely didn't go to in the first one.
We missed a whole bunch of movies.
And then you're sitting there going, this is a kid's movie. This is a kid's movie. This is a kid's movie. And then they get to that scene with the woman who can take her head off and replace it with her other head, and Dorothy wakes all the heads up. And that scene, I was like, this is a nightmare inducing scene. I would not want to show this to any child, let alone an adult.
Yeah. I get the creepier tone though. I know it's closer to what L. Frank Baum wrote, because if you go and look at the original stage production from like 1902 or 1906, it's weird. It's scary.
It's creepy. Yeah.
But does not work. L. Frank Baum didn't even know what his book should be.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so much to this, and it's just like it was one of those things where I was like, I can see the potential of a really cool series, but it just didn't hit any of the nails on the head. And then it ends with her going back home, and everything's hunky dory. And I was like, your aunt locked you in an asylum with a maniac who tried to electrocute you.
Yeah.
Why are you cool? All of a sudden, Dorothy, come on.
They should have added music to it. That would have fixed a lot of things.
Is there not music in this movie?
No, I mean like singing. Oh. It should have been a musical.
Oh, yeah, it should have been musical.
It should have been a darker musical. Just make it.
Yeah, let's just God, no. No, I about halfway through just wrote. Yeah. I hate this. I'm not writing any more notes.
And I like halfway through it, I should have gone with my first choice and watched which one?
Never Ending Story.
Never Ending Story.
It's all right. We made mistakes. There's a guy named the Gnome King. He's not a gnome. He's a rock.
Yeah.
It's like weird stop motion claymation stuff.
That movie will make me sadder by the end of it.
The Never Ending Story will make you sad. Of course it will. So, it has an actual emotional.
It just made me upset.
This one I was like, I turned to my wife after it was done. And I was just like, I'm mad at him. I haven't disliked a movie yet. This is the one. Return to Oz might be the first. Maybe don't watch it recommendation. All right, we're gonna move on.
Toto's prettier.
Toto's a cute dog in this one.
Like the original, which is scary.
Yeah. All right. So that was. We're gonna move on to the Little Rascals. Little Rascals. Based
the new one,
the movie from 1994, yes. Not the show from way back in the day.
Yeah.
This movie, I was watching it this time, and I was like, it has this kind of cool, timeless quality to it.
Yeah.
Because the kids look like they're out of like the 30s and 40s, but the atmosphere looks like it's out of now.
Now, yeah.
And I think that actually has helped it stay like, relevant. Not relevant, but like stay not dated. Yeah. It doesn't look like some of those other 90s kids movies where you're like, that's a kid movie from the 90s. This is the first in a category we're calling "Oh Fuck the President's" in this.
He's in it.
Donald
as the villain.
Trump plays the villain's dad. And then he's in the ending in the blooper reel eating popcorn that he definitely wasn't supposed to be eating.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was like, one, can we put blooper reels back on movies?
Yeah, we gotta.
Like, I miss those. This movie has a lot of good celebrity cameos. Whoopi's in this movie. Reba McEntire's in this movie. Daryl Hannah's in this movie.
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite kid ensembles. I don't really think there's a kid in the bunch that I didn't like.
Yeah, no, I think they're all solid. I love that Froggy, his voice is done by E.G. Daly, who plays Tommy Pickles in Rugrats.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So the kid's there, but the voice is not.
Okay.
And I told my wife, if we ever got two twins, I'm gonna call them Porky and Buckwheat. I don't care. Those kids are the cutest damn kids. Yeah. Sing, we got $1. We got $1. We got $1. Hey, 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 hey. All the time.
I love that.
The rich kid looks like Macaulay Culkin and Carrie Elwes from Princess Bride at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say evil Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
It's weird.
He's not related to either of them. No, I think I agree with you. The kids are really cute.
Yeah.
And this has a good lesson on toxic masculinity. Yeah. Don't be a He-Man woman hater.
But I forgot how fun the go-kart race is at the end.
The go-kart race is at the end, yeah. I also love that the track is set up in a way that the three kids who go the wrong way end up taking a shortcut.
Yeah.
Not a big one, but just enough of what.
In there.
This has the Olsen twins in it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, they're at the slumber party. I was like, that's crazy. Mel Brooks is in this movie as the bank manager.
Yeah.
I love the hate note when the kids write the Dear Darla, I hate your stinking guts.
Yeah. I'm surprised this movie isn't as big as I think it should be. I don't know many people who actually have seen it, which is I know people have, but people don't remember it for how much it had. Maybe it's got so much going on with people.
Well, yeah, and it didn't do super well.
Okay.
When it came out, but it has some really clever jokes. Like the 4-foot man eating chicken joke is really funny.
Yeah.
Where they cut in and there's a child eating chicken.
Yeah.
And then I got one that I've never seen before when they do the Nutcracker, and she says, "We're gonna do scenes from the Nutcracker." You watch Spanky grab his balls for a minute, and he's like, "Uh-oh."
No.
And I was like,
I don't think I even caught that.
No, it's in there. It's so funny. Yeah, it's great. And at the end of it, everybody gets a girlfriend, including the monkey.
The monkey. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this movie's cute. It's not a movie that I'm is going to change your life. No. It's not going to tell you, you're not going to do anything where you're like, oh man, Little Rascals just rocked my worldview. You can watch the president do his cameo that doesn't. just a reminder, that guy currently runs America.
Yeah.
But it's cute and it has a lot of fun, kind of clever little jokes, and like, I dig it. We dig it.
Good.
All right. We're moving on to the other one you chose.
The other one I chose, Oliver, the longest movie we've watched.
Movie we've watched so far.
Didn't realize it was so long. We watched
2.5 hours. It has an intermission.
Yes.
And it has an entourage after the intermission.
Yes, it does.
This is like 4 minutes of nothing going on.
I was trying to do a movie list of the musical movie that is most like its Broadway show.
This one is true.
This is exactly like its show.
No, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Like it. I was just sitting there watching. I was like, this is staged really well and shot really well.
Yeah.
The kids are like
they're pretty good.
I was like, that opening scene, I was like, they coordinated a whole bunch of kids.
Yeah.
In really complex choreography really well.
Yeah.
And this was from '68. Like, this is back in the day.
Yeah. It has some of my favorite music. I don't know, for kids.
Yeah.
There are other musicals where I go, this music sucks, and they're only doing it because it's kids. This has good songs for children.
I will say the dubbing in this movie is very terrible.
Very bad.
Like, there was.
I hope it's just the one we watched.
I hope so too.
Where did you watch it?
Voodoo.
Okay, I watched it on YouTube.
Okay. See, because I think it's just the dub.
It's the dub.
Because when they were doing what's the song with the girl sings to distract Sykes while she's sneaking Oliver out? I can't remember.
I don't know the name of the song.
Oh, I don't remember that. That one towards the end there. Yeah, that was like, her mouth is like a full beat ahead of what the notes are doing.
Yeah.
It's bad. The sets are really slick in this. It made me want to watch Oliver and Company.
Yeah, it made me want to watch the original Oliver Twist from 1940, but or 30.
And I think Oliver's the movie that inspired Les Mis, the musical.
I can see
because
that.
I think the writers were watching Oliver and saw Gavroche like amongst the boys, and then thought, well, what if we turned Les Mis into a thing? And then they wrote it for like a billion years.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's cool. I love the guy who played Fagin. I was like that. Yeah. That Pick a Little Pocket number was probably my favorite number in the whole thing.
Fagin is one of the most underrated character like in anything.
Well, and cool dude, the guy playing Bill Sykes, that monologue where he's talking about killing a chicken, I was like, that's legitimately terrifying. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, you picked 2 scary kids movies.
I don't know, both of those movies I thought were like more family friendly. And like, these are both traumatizing.
Like, yeah, I was like,
these are not for kids.
Is this the first movie we've watched that won an Oscar?
I think the first one that won Best Picture.
I think it's the first one won Best Picture over the Franco Zeffirelli Romeo and Juliet, which is pretty cool.
I think other things have won minor awards.
I just have to look it up.
To go back to
we have to go back to whatever the heck we watched.
I want to say one of the first movies we watched on the Cult Classics has like a visual effects award.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. But I don't know. But this is the first one that won Best Picture. So we have a Best Picture winner.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's cute. I mean, it's creepy and it's very dark. And Oliver, as I described him, is made of butter.
Yeah,
I was halfway through the second chase. I was like, no one can catch this freaking kid.
Yeah,
he's made of butter.
I think though that's where Hollywood decided that any kid starring in a movie has to look that way. So I went, oh yeah, then Willy Wonka happened. And like so it's all these little blonde boys,
little blonde guys.
Like,
I could have picked Willy Wonka. Missed opportunity.
Oh well.
Guess we'll have to save it for later.
That will be on a different list.
This also has that really. The only part I was that really terrible song about like, oh, he beats me, but it's fine. And I was like, oh gosh, domestic abuse. Don't give that. Please don't. Men don't beat people. Women don't beat people. And if people are like, get help.
Yeah.
Don't give into it. Yeah. No, it's. The other thing is every song in this, like, they're good, except that they repeat so damn much. I was like, every song is about 30 seconds to a minute longer than I think it needs to really be. And that would shave off about 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's the same with Annie. And now that I think about it, it's the same feeling. I was like, just don't need to do it twice.
Yeah, it's just so long. It's just so long.
Yeah. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot in this room, by the way.
We're hot. We had to turn the air conditioner off. We're on the top floor. It's 100 out. This is great. We are burning up. It's sauna with the party pal.
Yeah, it's sauna with the party
I think that's everything I talked about in this one.
I didn't have much for Oliver, which was...
The only other thing I said is all the interesting numbers and stuff, like, all happen in the first half of the movie, so the second half's a little slow.
Second half's slow.
But that's when Sykes really gets to kind of, like, show off.
Yeah.
And he gets... And Oliver Reed as Bill Sykes is, like, dang. I was like, dude, that's a good villain. I don't know how he didn't win more awards for that. I was legit scared.
Yeah.
All right.
And then last.
Moving on to the final movie. The final one is
probably the best movie.
E.T. Dude, E.T.
The best out of the...
I hadn't seen E.T. since I was probably the actual age that Elliot is in the movie.
Yeah.
And I sent this picture to my wife at the end of it of me curled up on the couch, like, weeping, just like, I'll be right here. I was like, it's so sad.
It's so sad. And man, oh no, you touched me. It's corn.
Oh
no. This is the movie though. I said all those kids are good in the other movies. This kid should have won.
Oh my God, Henry Thomas is so freaking good in this movie.
If you haven't seen it, look up his audition.
His audition tape for E.T. is remarkable. I was like, he should have won an award for that alone. Yeah. I'm going to look up who won Best Actor that year, and then I'm going to take their award away because, God, no, it's just, it feels so natural. It's got like this real wholesome.
Yeah.
I wrote down there's a lot of Star Wars references in this because Steve Spielberg and George Lucas are close.
E.T.'s in that.
But I wrote down that Yoda quote which actually came out way later than this movie. The truly wonderful the mind of a child is, which I was like, that's the definition of like if an alien lands and a child finds it. Yeah. I feel like they would treat it very differently than if somebody from the government found the same creature. And E.T. has this amazing ability to be both adorable and horrifyingly creepy. And the puppet that they got is just so good.
Oh gosh. Sorry, speaking of the Star Wars thing though, have you read the theory about E.T. as a Jedi?
Oh yeah.
I love that because at one point in the movie, I know people probably know this, but E.T. during like a Halloween thing, a kid's dressed up as Yoda and he like tries to go get it because he wants to go home. And it goes, he knows like Yoda.
Some other fact. This is I was reading. This is Eminem's biggest marketing regret. So they were supposed to be. They wanted the candy that E.T. got from Elliot to be M&M's.
Oh yeah,
but they were like, I don't really want to. We don't really want to do that. So they went with Reese's Pieces, and then the movie got huge. And Eminem was like,
no. That's what I thought in my head though. Before I watched it, I thought it was Skittles for some reason. I don't know why I thought it was Skittles.
No, it's M&M. It was supposed to be M&M's. But it was supposed to be a bigger candy.
Candy, which is so funny because that's one of my favorite parts. That's people do that joke a lot in a lot of movies. The breadcrumbs. There's something so funny about it being these little candies, like all the kid could find was.
Yeah, little Reese's Pieces. No, it's so good, and it's so. There's just so many things that like it works. Drew Barrymore's better in this movie than I think she is in most of the stuff she does as an adult.
Yeah. There's the part where the government comes to get E.T. is still
that's
weird. It feels like sci-fi, more than
it feels sci-fi, and it feels like that this must be illegal in some way. Like they're just breaking into these people's houses. They're not listing any warrants. They're not saying it. They're just walking in, and then they're like, "We're trying to help him." And I feel like I missed it. Did they explain why E.T.'s dying? Is it just because his family's like not near him?
I think it's just because he's not in his home world.
It just seems like he's losing the connection. They're like they have some sort of
hive thing,
and there's that weird connection with Elliot that happens because of it, which has that really funny scene where Elliot gets drunk in class because E.T. gets drunk on one beer.
Yeah, I like that. I like the connection thing. I forgot about that. And I don't know. This is the first time I've watched it though, where the bike thing made me really emotional. Before I was like, "That's cool" as a kid.
No, the bike scene is so good. E.T. weighs about 3 pounds. I'm convinced. Fit in that basket, no problem.
No problem.
No, it's just I think from the moment E.T. dies to the end of the movie, I was just a wreck. I was like, "This, I just can't. This is so." And that scene where Henry Thomas does the fake crying after he finds out he's alive and he's like shutting it, just like, "Oh God!" I was like, it's so freaking good.
So good.
He's so good.
So good. I'm bummed I know he's still acting.
If you haven't seen his most recent thing is Haunting of Hill House as the younger version of the dad.
Yeah.
And like that connection. And then they did that commercial where E.T. came back for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he was like, he came back! But he's like a 45-year-old man now.
Yeah. So great.
No, it's, oh man. I mean, I'm sure everyone listening to this has at some point seen E.T. Yes. I think almost everybody has seen E.T. at some point. But it deserves...
Watch it again.
Like, I as soon as I watched it, put it on my like favorite movies list. And I was like, this is a perfect movie. It's top to bottom flawless. It might be Spielberg's best movie.
Yep.
And that's saying a lot because Steven Spielberg did a lot of good movies. Yeah, that's I mean that was quick and dirty.
Yeah, and Bobby Fischer still got chess.
Bobby Fischer is a good chess movie. It has Lawrence Fishburne. We can talk about. We just watched it.
You don't have to.
It is okay. No, we're gonna do it.
Oh my god!
Searching for Bobby Fischer is a true story of a kid named Josh Waitzkin, who's a chess prodigy. He's the next Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer was like the most famous American chess player, and the reason he's a prodigy is because he basically can see ahead in the moves on the board and figure out how to like play chess. He like teaches himself to play chess at 7 years old. Yeah. Based on watching some guys play speed chess in the park, one of whom is Lawrence Fishburne, who becomes like his best friend in the movie. And not Lawrence Fishburne as a child, Lawrence Fishburne as like a 25-year-old man,
fully grown,
hanging out with this 7-year-old.
I will say most of the movie, the kid is adorable. He doesn't give much to do. I know because they kind of give him like he's a genius who just kind of like
they have this pseudo like autistic thing that they make him do.
It feels like it is a lot. Like they get really good actors, get Tony Shalhoub, get all these actors in this movie, so that like that makes this kid shine.
Tony Shalhoub, Ben Kingsley, I forget the guy's name, plays the dad.
Never remember the dad's name.
It's Joe Mantegna, I think, and then Joan Allen is his mom. Yeah, it's. And then like even some fun character actors to play like the parents of the other kids. Yeah. They have like they have that dude from City Slickers, and they have William H. Macy. Yeah. And it's really interesting, and it's like really cool to watch chess, and they do it in a way that it feels real intense. Yeah.
it's because they play with the timer, so you hear every time they make a move, they have to go like
they play. That's a standard chess tournament thing.
But it's still cool to like that sound of boom every time it pops, every time they make a move.
Well, it's cool to see it's a true story too.
Yeah. So I wish they showed the chessboard more. I wish it wasn't just piece. It was just zoom out at one point.
Yeah, we could watch like an actual game. Yeah. The closest they come is when he's playing speed chess that one time. When he's having the like, oh, I'm coming back from my slump. Yeah. And I went back to the park to play with my bros.
My bro.
That's the closest I think they come to him. Yeah. To him doing it, but the rest of the time, it's a lot of like shot of like the move, and then you don't see it for a while. Yeah. It's real slick, and they do a lot of cool things where they just like put a lot of stakes into something so small.
So small, yeah.
And you feel it, and you're like you feel for the kid, you feel for his struggle of like them taking this sort of thing he found he's good at, and then making it really like important to him, and then to the point where he gets so important to him that he realizes he's not being like a kid anymore. He's like becoming this machine that plays chess. And
I think my favorite part of the movie is the progression of the dad, who like it starts out he's a sportscaster, doesn't care for chess, he doesn't believe his son is like good at chess. He starts to believe. He decides to go get him a coach. He gets really invested. His son throws the game. He gets upset about his son throwing the game. And now he realizes he's invested in like chess fully, which is so great.
And I love the dynamic between Ben Kingsley as like the traditional like chess champion coach and Lawrence Fishburne as the like, dude, just play with your gut kind of, coach. And they sort of find this way to hybridize the two styles. Yeah. For him to figure out like how to work together, and that ending where he offers the other kid a draw, that part of it actually happened in that tournament. They did draw, so he offered him a draw, and then the guy rejected him, and then they played to a standstill with basically the stalemate with the two kings. But in the movie they change it so that the queen is still on the board. Josh's queen is still on the board, and the other kid just gives up. which like that was a slick ending where you watch them sort of race the pawns across the board to get to get to their queens.
Oh,
so good. So good. It made me want to play chess all the time, and then I realized I'm not good at chess.
I'm not the best at chess.
I am not one of those people who can see into the future. I can do that with like crosswords and word searches if I have the letters. I don't know how I can, but I can't do it with chess.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry, that's an extra movie.
It's all right. You got an extra movie for free. You came here for 5 movies. You got 6.
I'm going to have a heat stroke.
And we're gonna sign off. Nate, give us our sign off line.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
All right. Have a good one, everybody.